coming to the table and negotiating a peace. Whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's Biden, whether it's anybody, what do you think it takes? Do you think it's possible? And if you're in a room, if Jared Kushner is in the room with Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelenskyy, what does it take to have a productive conversation? And what does it take for that conversation to fail? Like, what are the trajectories that lead to success and failure?
I think we go back to negotiations. Number one is trust, right? Both leaders have to have the ability to communicate what an off-ramp is without fearing it's going to leak to the public. So if you go to the posture of Zelenskyy right now, and by the way, President Zelenskyy, I have a lot of respect for the courage he showed, especially initially. You saw what Ghani did in Afghanistan. They were getting attacked by the Taliban. He took the cash and got the hell out of there. Staying in Kiev when he did, how he did it was one of the most brave things we've seen in a long time. And he has a ton of my respect and admiration for doing that. But now he's promising his people, we're going to win the war. And the military action has not necessarily coincided with that sentiment. And so there has to be some form of off-ramp, but he can't say that publicly. So for him to be able to work privately with somebody who can help create a new paradigm where both leaders can say, we're going to stop the bloodshed, we're going to stop the risk of nuclear war for the world, we're going to stop what's happening. That's really what it will take. How that occurs, again, it's not something I'm involved in now, so I don't know who the right broker is or how to put that together. But essentially, they need somebody in between them who can figure out how do you create a landing zone that works, because neither party is going to jump until the pool is filled with water. And you have to outline what the go forward looks like, because you can't just stop it for then it to get worse for both parties. You have to move it forward into what happens next that hopefully can start to turn the tide to benefit both sides, where they can focus on the future instead of being stuck into the old paradigm of who started what, who's to blame for what, who did what to who. It's just a lot of tough stuff now that's occurred that's going to be hard to walk back. And it's a big task to get it done. But for the sake of the world, it'd be amazing if we were able to reach a conclusion to that conflict.
Just going back to your earlier mention of North Korea, what do you think it takes to bring Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelenskyy to the table together?
Leadership.
So you're saying like it has to be a U.S. president?
It has to be somebody who's willing to put themselves on the line to go and do it. And, again, if you're the U.S. president and you're the most powerful nation in the world, you should be trying. Yeah. But I do think, again, the posture that the U.S. has taken has probably been in a place where it would be very hard for them to get the trust of Russia based on the way that they've played their moves to date. I always thought from the beginning that Putin would try to bring in President Xi in China to resolve it, to basically give a big screw you to America, to say, China's now the one, in charge of this. But that hasn't seemed to manifest itself to date either. But it takes leadership. The leaders have to get in and say, let's get everyone together and let's try to get this done, because every day it goes on, A, more people are dying, and B, we do risk nuclear war for the world, which is not a good situation.